Awesome. Well, you want to get on to Frieren?
Yeah, let's get on to Frieren. Episode 7 called Like a Fairy Tale. Basically the group of Frieren, Fern, and Stark run into obstacles, festivals, and demons as they continue their journey north. Um so this episode kind of starts off with a flashback of Frieren obtaining a book of Flammy, which is her sensei, I guess you can say, Shisho.
Her
Um
teacher.
yeah, from defeating a monster and her talking about how a real one has never been found. But it almost makes you wonder, like, we've seen this multiple times, but why does she keep accepting them as payments if she knows that they're fake? You
I,
know?
yeah, I think she just wants to keep doing good deeds for people and helping people out. I think it's like it's a good excuse for her to do the job because maybe it's going to be real, even though we know it's not. But I
Yeah.
think it's just her trying to be a good elf because she's not a person, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we know she finally found one though. Eisen found one, so
Hmm.
for her, so I guess it paid off in the end. But um
Definitely.
But then we come back to the present with Fern and Stark basically giving Fear and positive reinforcement for waking up early. It's like a dog, bro. It's like, come on, hurry, hurry, hurry. We gotta, make her, you know, happy because she done a good job.
Dude, it literally reminded me of like potty training my dogs. And like the minute you get them outside and they pee, you praise them and give them treats. Like it was basically the same thing.
And yeah, I'm just glad to see that that Stark is, in with the shenanigans already. He kind of questioned a little bit, but he gave in. So, he has to. Fern's gonna beat his ass if he don't. So
Burns kind of scary. Yeah. Just stern.
but then they move on. They start going to the next town. Obviously they're heading north and they come across a landslide which they help to clear, and for an old man too. And they was like, Stark was kind of curious. He was like, why not just, move the cart over the landslide and then we just go over too. That's the easiest way. And then Frieren's just like, well, Fern, kind of looks down on that. She wants to make sure it's good for everyone else after us. So, uh,
Definitely. Yeah, I kind of liked how Stark was a little selfish, kind of like Freer, and she's just looking for the easy way out. She doesn't want to do all this shit. But, it's good that they helped out and cleared this road so other people can actually pass through it.
it's funny that Fern, who is the, like, I guess, disciple or apprentice or whatever, being raised by the, drunk, I guess,
Hey,
is the
man.
one that actually has the more, helping others kind of personality. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's the human inside of her, and it's like you're starting to see Freerin have more of that human side to her, through all these adventures and helping people, things like that. But Hyder gave up the booze for Fern, so give him some credit, okay?
yeah, I don't know if it was for Fern or not, but it was something. He did a good job. He did a good job raising her. So, uh, but getting back to like the old man and the car and stuff, he actually brought up a good point. He said he told Frieren that they never seen an elf in his lifetime, and he looks to be like 50 some years old. And Fern also admits that she's never seen one either. And she's been with Frieren for years now. Uh, and then Frieren goes on to say that she's only seen her kind a handful of times, and the last time she actually met one was over 400 years ago. And, for one thing, there's a couple things about this. One thing, we finally noticed she's over 400 years old. I did not expect that.
I did based on how tall that tree was over her old master's house, and she would look the exact same at that point. So like she wasn't a kid, but that tree had to be growing for 300 years to get that big, dude. That was a freaking tank of a tree.
Damn. Okay, so you're using okay. They actually did
Context
something like that? I
clues,
didn't
baby.
notice.
Yeah, so you remember when they're going to Flammy or Flam, whatever her name is, her house. It was under a tree because a sapling they had planted had grown so big it overtook a house.
Okay.
That
I
tree
did.
was wider than a semi truck. Like it was huge.
I didn't pay no attention, honestly.
Context clues, buddy. Write them down.
So I guess this show is doing a great job at giving context clues. So, um, but it just goes over my head, I guess. um, but yeah, so the last one she met was over 400 years ago, and you know, we also learned that the elves of this world aren't that big on like love and reproduction, and she also hinted at extinction. So it brings me to wonder: is Frieren the last elf alive? You think?
I don't think she's the last elf. I think we're honestly going to meet another elf at some point in this show. Based on the fact that they've talked about this, it's coming. You know, like they can't just go through this and then not bring an elf in the future. You know.
See, I took it a different way. I took it like they're bringing up the possibility that Frieren is the last elf, and you know, it certainly seems to be kind of giving that vibe off because if because an elf hasn't seen another elf in 400 plus years, and nobody else has seen an elf, kind of like that just doesn't bode well. I don't think for the elf race.
Yeah, I think they're just very rare, and like you said, they don't have any interest in like finding a partner and reproducing. So like they are eventually going to go extinct unless something changes. And who knows? Maybe with Frieren's human side, she's developing through bonds with humans. Maybe she'll meet an elf and they'll hit it off. You know?
Or maybe even a human. You never know. Maybe you should give like a little half elf, half human type thing.
Ah, a little Lord of the Rings action.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be fun? Um, but yeah, they basically just keep on going after that little conversation. But that was a really neat conversation. And they arrive at the town that they was headed for just in time for the Liberation Festival, which is basically just a celebration of the hero party defeating the demons. Which is pretty cool. Apparently it's like the anniversary coming up, like that night or something. Uh but then we get a flashback of Himmel telling Frieren the reason why he has so many statues of himself built was so that people wouldn't forget about him. And we also get into he also says something else. He's like, plus, so you won't be lonely in the future. And honestly, that kind of teared me up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it did tear me up. That was a really touching scene, and I also liked Himmel's sass when he was like, "I'm just so damn good looking. People got to know it."
Yeah, it I mean, it makes you wonder like did Himmel like kind of have feelings for Frieren, you think?
No, I think it was more of a mutual respect and friendship kind of thing. I don't think it was like a love thing. You know?
You think so?
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Mm. I think
Every
differently.
It doesn't
I
need to be a romance, but come on, it's an
I think
adventure.
differently. Well, there's a reason why, you know, almost every flashback we see, it's a Frieren and Himmel mostly doing the talking together. Like there's a lot of things that she does or tries to do because of Himmel. So it makes you wonder if, you know, she didn't have feelings for Himmel and Himmel didn't have feelings for her, but they just didn't know how to convey it because of the whole fighting the Demon King and then Frieren automatically leaving on another journey once they got back, you know?
Yeah, I really think it's just the bonds of friendship created over that journey. You know, I think that's a better way to write this story because Himmel's gone, so it doesn't make sense to have him be a love interest. You know, the homie's dead, and he was also like a grandpa after like half an episode. You know,
But what if, you know, they're going to this almost a tomato heaven. We're not watching Heavenly Delusions.
tomato happen.
What if they, you know, they're going to this heaven that way she can talk to him one more time, you know? So what if, you know, there's a way that she could, you know, bring him back or something? That would be a interesting scenario. I
It could
don't
be
know if she
interesting.
would do it or not, but it would be interesting.
Yeah, I don't think they can bring back the dead. I don't think they're gonna go that route in this. You know, I think it'll just be more of a conversation about her realizing how important her friends were and conveying that to them because I mean Hyder and Himmel are there and Eisen says he's old as dirt, so he might be dead by the time they get there too. I don't know. That'd be really sad if that's what they got there. Stark met Eisen in, heaven or whatever the heck they're calling it.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. It's a really good build up, but so they stay for the festival, then they leave the next morning. They arrive in another northern town soon after, and Frieren immediately gets tackled by the guards because she sensed the demon and she started to attack him. She started the spell, and so the guards tackled her, and apparently the demon is named Lord Lugner, and he's basically from a peace envoy, and they're walking around with the leader, Graf Granite, and I guess they're in negotiations with peace or whatever. Because with this has been in a war for a little while, so but then the demon guy, Lugner, is that how you say it, you think?
I think it was Lugner, yeah.
Yeah. He walks over to Frieren, and he just he says that she has bloodlust and doesn't seem to see him as anything other than a wild beast. And she basically just says that they are just wild beasts that imitate human speech, but they cannot be communicated with. And this this goes on to be like a little point that they try to hit home. Uh but right now, Frieren gets thrown into the dungeons. Unfortunately, because they are trying. She did attack a peace convoy or envoy. So, um, but and apparently, Fern and Stark tell her that the sentence is going to be 2 to 3 years for that, and she's perfectly fine with it. She's like, "Oh, just give me some Grimoires, bro. Give me some books to read." And she wanted to know why there was a demon envoy, and Fern basically tells her that Aura the Guillotine, which is one of the 7 sages of destruction for the Demon King army, gained her powers back 28 years ago and has been at war with the town ever since. And basically, the town was tired of fighting and wanted peace, so they agreed to talk with the demons. And then we get into the point again where Frieren is saying that it's pointless. Demons can't talk things out. They only want to kill. And then that's when Frieren starts telling a story to Fern and Stark to really hit this point home. You have any thoughts on any of that?
Yeah, I mean, I like how Frieren understands how demons operate and nobody else does, but she's experienced with it. And it's a shame that, like Graf Grana or whatever his name is, isn't listening or like didn't even like think to ask her. I mean, I don't know. There's statues of this chick everywhere. Like, you gotta recognize her a little bit. It's funny that nobody does, though. I mean, like, this is one of the hero parties members, and she looks exactly the same. It's been like 80 years, and there's all these statues of her freaking everywhere, but nobody recognizes her.
Yeah, it's actually wild. I think only a couple of people actually like even remotely said anything about it. Maybe it's because everybody notices Himmel more, maybe.
Yeah, I can definitely
So
think that. But like I said, there's freaking statues of her everywhere. But so after that, Freeland starts telling Fern and Stark a story from the past, and the heroes confront a demon girl that killed a village, a girl in a village. And it turns out that through communication, by basically talking, she made them feel bad. And she was like, "Mom." And the village chief felt bad, took her in, and was like, we can figure out a way to like salvage her, make her feel. And, Himmel is ready to kill her. And he takes his sword down. And Frieren basically tells Himmel that he's going to be sorry. He's going to regret this because he didn't kill her when he had the opportunity. And this demon child actually ends up killing the chief, burning his farm down, and is trying to take the daughter away so that she can give it back as like a peace offering. And she doesn't understand that what she did was wrong because humans are just fodder for demons. That's food.
yeah.
And Himmel, just like a badass, just slices off her arm, saves the girl, and they kill the demon. And as the demon's dying, Frieren just looks her dead in the eyes, cold stone killer style, and goes, "Why do you say mom?" And this is kind of going to come back into it in the future. Like we're going to learn a little bit more about demons, but it was really good preface for what's going to happen. So demons don't have family. They went into this whole thing. And she answers back saying, it stops people from killing me because they feel bad.
Yeah, because she constantly kept on saying, "Mom, it hurts. Ow, mom, make it stop." Stuff like that. So it was definitely, it is really sad to see something like that. But once you see from Frieren's point of view, you understand that they're only saying that to stop people from killing them and to free up time, basically. Um, but then, it comes back to the present time, and Frieren is just re-emphasizing to Fern and Stark that words are just a way for demons to deceive and manipulate humans, and that's it. And after seeing Frieren's point of view, do you think that any demon is capable of peace like that?
Nah, man, they're a bunch of snakes.
They are, bro.
Well, they're demons. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what they do. They want to eat people. They want to kill people. Like, I mean, that's what demons do, Like, we know demons. Like, they've been around for a long time. They suck.
And another thing that's pretty interesting that happened in this episode, apparently Flame, which is, Frieren Shisho is her master, is the one who started calling monsters capable of speech demons. That's a pretty fun fact, huh?
Yeah, yeah, it's great world building. We're getting to know her teacher through stories, even though we're not going to meet her until probably the very end of the show.
You think we will meet her?
I think that's the goal, right?
Maybe. We'll
The whole
see.
reason she's going to heaven is to talk to her old teach.
No, it was to talk to Himmel.
Yeah, but they're going to talk to the teach too. She'll show up.
It would be that. That's gonna be a fun time. It probably won't happen anytime soon though. But basically, while they was talking, amongst themselves, we find out the demons actually confirm Frieren's beliefs. They was wanting to basically just manipulate and kill and lower the defenses in order to get Aura, in and just kill everyone else. So basically, that's all they was trying to do. But they meet Graf in his office. They go and have a meeting with Graf in his office where he says that his son was killed by Aura 10 years ago. And then he attempts to avenge his son. So now we get into the fact that we all thought that it was actually a peace, party, but the chief actually wanted to avenge his son and he didn't care nothing about peace. That
Definitely,
was a
yeah.
pretty interesting twist.
Yeah, I kind of saw it coming from the point when he said he hated his guts, but he has to respect him in this time. So I kind of saw that coming. And I do want to point out too, it wasn't his office, it was actually his son's
Yeah.
bedroom that had been kept meticulously maintained in the same way it looked 10 years ago. And his son's sword was resting on a dresser. And he goes to avenge him. And the demon kind of like, you see his eyes kind of flick around and look around the room, and he understands the situation and talks about how Graf killed his father 10 years ago as well. And, they need to get past this. So there's no more pointless bloodshed. And that causes Graf to lower his sword. And after that, the demons get led to a room, a guest bedroom, I think they called it. And they're having a conversation. And they're like, "What's a father?" And he's like, "I don't fucking know."
And here we are back to what Frieren said in her little story to Fern and Stark. So they just saying shit. So
Definitely. So fucked up, man. The demons suck in this show. Like, there's cool demons out there. Yu Hakusho's got cool demons, but these guys suck.
uh but then we get into, one of my favorite parts of the show, this episode, honestly. And apparently, while all this was like, as they was going back to their bedroom or whatever, one of the demons sneak off, and apparently they go to kill Frieren because she's the one that's standing in their way. Basically, is what they're being told. And he kills the guard that's guarding the cells, and then he goes in with Frieren and tells her that he's one of Aura the Guillotine's executioners and that he's actually here to kill her. And my girl Frieren, she just doesn't give a shit. She, just sits there and she's like, you know, okay, are you done just playing pretend? are you are you actually gonna do what you're here to do anyways? I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed this scene too because she just looks at him. She's like, I'm strong. And he's like, you think you're stronger than me? And she's like, bro, I'm stronger than your leader, Aura. I'm coming at you. But like my thing with this, right, is so Frieren doesn't have her staff. So I don't know if she can just pull that out of her pocket, like out of nowhere with magic, or if it's like somewhere else, you know? Because I know she had it in her hands when she got tackled. And I thought it was on the ground when she got taken away. So like I don't know if she just magically pull that out of her ass or what, but
I don't know. I mean, you would think that maybe Fern and them would have it, maybe, unless she, of course, did some kind of shit, stash it away somewhere. I don't know.
actually now that I think about it, every time we've seen them pull out their staffs, they just magically make that thing appear. So she's probably got it in her back pocket. But
Yeah,
like I'm curious if they can use magic if they don't have their staff out because we haven't seen that yet, you know?
yeah, I'm curious too. I mean, I guess we'll see because I'm assuming, I'm assuming this dude's gonna be light work, basically, and it's gonna be interesting to see if like the power scales down if she doesn't have her staff, or if she can't use any magic at all. But she seems pretty confident, so you think that she wouldn't be that confident unless she was able to use magic to some extent because she's not gonna be able to fight. So
Yeah.